the in last two classes we have focused our attention, most of our attention I should say, on behavior of individuals, rationality of individuals. So we could talk a little bit about ecological rationality yesterday. But most of the discussion has been about behavior and behavior of individuals. Today we're going to shift focus a little bit to society and institutions. So with that, let me start here. So we have, it has been established through years of research. Not that we need research, I guess. We have always known this. Mike, okay. Thank you. We have always known this, that human capacity is limited. We don't have infinite abilities, whether it's physical, our physical abilities, whether it's body strength, I'm too close to you. Speed, reach, how far you can reach, vision, hearing, touch, smell. Dogs have much better sense of smell than we do. Eagles have much better vision than we do. Leopards can, or rather, cheetahs can run much faster than we do. Other capacities like creativity, imagination, sociality, flexibility, there are all kinds of limitations that human beings have. We are not the only ones who are limited, right? Everybody has limits. Other organisms, every organism has limits of its own. It's just that different organisms have different kinds of limits. So there isn't any such thing as some perfect organism which has unlimited capacity, except maybe in our imagination we think that is there an expression where we say God is all omniscient and can see everything, can do anything and everything. That's our imagination, because which arises from our recognition that our capabilities are so limited. So, but we are not satisfied with our capacities. Human beings want more. And to do more than what we are naturally endowed with, what do? We have found ways of increasing our capacities. Or rather, I shouldn't say increasing our capacity, but supplementing it by various means. And I have listed some examples. Engineering artifacts, you are quite familiar with engineering artifacts that we have devised. This photograph here is some of the earliest tools devised by human beings. What are they for? No, actually it's not for fire. I think this is the one on the left is a pounding stone, You hold the stone and pound for pounding probably meat, I think it's from China. And the right, can you tell that these are tools devised by man, actually made by man, human beings? How can you tell? Could be just a piece of stone from the riverbed. How can you tell it's a tool made for a purpose by a human being and not just a random piece of stone Okay. You can see in these tools how by hitting one stone with another stone, it was chopped off and or shaped by human beings. And these tools are probably very early in the Stone Age, 2.5 million years old, found in China, some places. So tools, human beings have started with tools very early on, because your hands were not, even for Homo habilis, the hand was not hard enough and was not powerful enough. And you start using tools. And of course, over the years, we have devised all kinds of tools you're familiar with, right? This is what our toolbox might look like. This is just one kind of tools. What more? We devised fire. Why did we devise fire? What is the point? I mean, what difference did fire make to human beings?
Animals were scared of it.
Pardon me?
Animals were scared of fire.
Animals are scared. What else?
Cooking.
Cooking.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Why? What's the difference between uncooked food and cooked food?
Taste.
Pardon me? Taste. What else?
It is easier to chew.
It's easier to chew. What about energy content? You get more energy by eating raw meat or raw vegetables, or cooked meat or cooked vegetables.
Raw meat give more energy.
Now, actually, your body can extract a lot more energy to your digestive system by eating cooked meat or cooked vegetables, or cooked. So this was a huge advancement. Of course, it also expanded the range over which human beings could live on Earth, because now with fire, it also provided warmth, and warmth enabled people. You didn't have to live in Ahmedabad, where you could move to temperate climates, where without fire it'll be impossible for people to survive. And fire made a huge difference to the range part of the earth where human beings could continue to live. This is a reconstruction of a man who was found in Alps, very near the Austrian and Italian border in Alps, near Trento area. Some mountaineer reported that, hey, there's a dead body there, to the police. Police went there, they thought this was a crime scene. And when they started looking at this and examined the body, they found the body was 5,100 years old. More than 5,000 years ago. And this guy had been killed actually. But he was a perfectly well-dressed gentleman. They have analyzed. There's a big museum in Bolzano near Trento in Italy, northern Italy, near the border, which is devoted entirely to this body, and they have done so much research on it, which kind of dress. But in any case, the point here is clothing was developed by human beings very early on. This was increased the capacity of human beings to a very great degree. What else did we develop? Shelter, of course, you know about that. Without shelter, writing. Writing was a major. What capability did writing enhance for us? Pardon me?
Passing of knowledge to the next generation.
Yes, in memory, These are probably somebody's accounts, and at our university, they have a huge collection of Babylonian cuneiform tablets taken from Babylon, thousands of them, and they were mostly memos about inventory of various kinds of contracts and so on. And it was writing was a major advancement to memory, which was our limitation, cognitive limitation. Then came another artifact was agriculture. After human beings lived for millions of years as just hunter-gatherers, they learned that you don't have to just gather food in the wild. You can actually go and go and produce food by collecting seeds and the last one I'm going to talk about is just mention education. That picture looks like picture you guys, right, in the classroom. What difference does it make to the human capabilities? You know, this was a social form of memory, right? And you can pass on from generation to generation the learning, and because without the education has multiplied human capability many, many times. So what's the point here? Now, I've shown you a lot of these artifacts which are physical. You can actually see them. Artifacts meant to increase human capability. But that's not the purpose of this class. I'm going to talk about artifacts that you can't see and you can't touch. What are those artifacts? Pardon me? Institutions, right? Society and institutions are those artifacts. Suppose I ask you for an example of an institution, and you might say institution. IIT Gandhinagar is an institution. Is it something is it tangible? What do you think is the essence of IIT Gandhinagar as an institution?
Students, its faculties.
Okay. Is that students and bodies and faculty, is it their bodies?
No, they're
Is there persons?
They're proceedings.
Okay. How about the buildings? And chairs and computers?
Is a culmination of all these things.
Yeah, they are in certain relationship to it, but you're right that what the institution consists of the relationships among and expectations among people who are here. The institution, I mean, this building could be occupied could be used for many different things. You could store rice here, you know, the building will just function just as well for storage of rice or something else, you know, or sleeping. But that's not the function, it's not being used for it. The institutional part of the IIT exists in its relationship, which are very intangible in expectations. So in addition to the tangible artifacts, the more abstract artifacts of our society are institutions. And that's why I can show them in pictures. Well, if I were to show the IIT Gandhinagar as a picture, it would probably look the buildings there. But that will be wrong, right? Because the essence of the institute, IIT as an institution, has nothing to do with the building. You know, building is not the essence. And of course, you can find many, many different definitions of society. Some people say it's a bunch of people living in shared relationship with one another. Institutions establish law, practice, custom, again, relationships and expectations of people from one another. Okay. And these two concepts obviously overlap. They are not exactly distinct from each other. You can come up with many different examples. And as I said, these social institutions are artifacts themselves. They did not exist in nature. These are things that we have created. Why have we created them? We have certain goals again, just like the hand tools and fire and clothing and shelter. Similarly, institutions also human artifacts which have been created to help us achieve our own goals. To make up for the shortfall we have, cognitive or physical or other kinds of shortfalls we have as individual human beings. So we can think of these as supplements to this. There was a Romanian economist in 1960s. I think his name was Georgescu Rogan, and his argument was that hammer is just an evolution of hand, or the car is evolution of our feet, or airplanes are evolution of our feet, for walking. Now we are rolling along, but that's an extension. It may not be exactly connected to it physically, but he thought about these artifacts in evolutionary terms, but I'm not going to go there. Okay. Okay, so what do I want to say next is that what's a major problem in society? I'm going to change tax a little bit here. What are the important issues in society that we wish to address and improve upon, than we can do by ourselves? I'm going to start with an example today, but I hope in the next week or so we'll go over some of the examples. So when you read Hayek, and I think I gave you Hayek's article, Use of Knowledge in Society, where he argues, everybody knows about Hayek, right? Which Hayek? Friedrich Hayek, okay. It's not Selma we are talking about. Okay, all right. His critical issue for him is that information in the world lies dispersed all over society. Knowledge and information. And by knowledge, he doesn't mean only what we call scientific knowledge, like papers you publish or research you do and things like that. He's using the word knowledge very broadly. What he means by knowledge is things like, I walked from my home to my office today, and I saw a black dog on the street. That's a piece of information, right? And as a part of living, we all come upon many, many different kinds of information all the time. And his main issue that Hayek points out is, look, information is inherently dispersed in society. Millions or billions of people have information that people at the top do not have and cannot have. That information cannot be centralized. Why can't it be centralized? Suppose I'm the dictator of the society and I want to know, I want to feed everybody. I'm a nice dictator and a benign dictator. I want to feed everybody. So I want to give everybody how much the amount of food they need. I want to ask everybody, you know, how much food do you eat, how much food do you eat, so I can give you the right amount. What would I get from you? Would I get the truth? No. Right? What you want, right? You want it. Because the gathering of information at the center gets mixed up with the interests of individuals who have the information. Because when information is dispersed in society, the central authority cannot gather information. In 1930s and 40s, Hayek had this big debate with Ava Lerner and other economists, people who were very much for central planning. You know, after Bolshevik Revolution in 1917-18, which is exactly 100 years ago, the central planning had become very popular, and Hayek said no, central planning will not work because information is dispersed and central planner cannot learn that information. You can ask, but you won't get it. Or you will get it distorted information. You will get the wrong information.
Is it close to that free rider problem?
Free rider is part of that, but free rider is just one aspect of that problem. But the problem is much more general than just free rider problem. Okay. Yes, please.
Can we not anticipate the distortion and correct it?
Okay.
Because we can estimate what kind of lies people want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Would that not allow us to do that?
Well, you know, what will happen is that how do you think the institutes like IIT allocate living quarters to staff? They allocate it on the basis of seniority, right? People who have served for a long time, have gray hair like me, get bigger apartments. People like you who are younger, just joined the job, on the job, probably have children, need more space, get less space. I don't have need. My children have left home. I don't, but I'll get more space. You get by seniority, right? You see it everywhere. That's information free allocation procedures. Give me something better. Pardon me? Give equal to all. Will that be? How will that work? Will that work more efficiently? My universities I've worked for the last 47 years, none of them ever provided any housing. They gave me money and they said, you decide where you want to live and how much of your money you want to spend on living, on renting. No, they did not give me full money. But we'll come to that issue. I think you're raising interesting possibilities. But let me go to this. The way we look for answers, how do we get information dispersed among billions of people to serve the human needs in a rational manner? How do we look for the answers? Okay. And to look for the answers, we are going to conduct an experiment today. Okay. So I hope I might keep you a little longer. Would you mind today? Okay. You won't miss your dinner, right? Okay, it'll be 6 more hours. So, okay. No. All right. So let's try an experiment. Okay. How many people? Preeti, could you please count? Come up here and Poonam. How many people are in the room? Just count number of people here, please, and this side. Problem of, let's suppose that these guys on my right hand side, they can produce some goods. What is that good? Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's wheat, maybe it's potatoes or rice or whatever you like. These guys can produce, okay, each of them has their own cost of production and they want to sell it. And you guys on this side want to buy it. Each of you associates a different value to these amounts, to the same good. Good is the same, but how much value you attach to it is different. Okay? Each of you can produce 1 unit every period, or 0 or 1, no more than 1. Each of you can buy 1 unit or 0 units, no more than 1 unit. You can buy more than 1, you can sell more than 1 each period. Okay. Where are we in this? Just a moment. And the problem we have in society is who should produce and sell at what price? To who should buy at what price from these guys? We'll try to solve that problem. Okay? And we're going to try 2 methods for solving this problem. How many people did you say there are in the room? Preeti? 23? Okay. I want 3 volunteers to help me solve this problem. Okay? Just if there are 11 people here, 1 person come here and 2 people come here. Come up, please. Okay? Just want 2 volunteers. You'll be able to, I'll give you a separate task, but you'll be able to see what happens in this room because we are videotaping everything. Okay? So I just need 1 person 3 people to come and help me with this. Okay. All right. Good. 1, 2, 1 more on this side. Yes. Okay, take a look at this write-up. Okay, yeah. Okay, take a look at this write-up. Ask me any questions you may have. Just sit down, take a look at it, ask me any questions, and then after you finish, go outside for 30 minutes, solve the problem, and come back. Okay? Pardon me? Yes, of course. You work as a team. You go outside and work as a team. Okay, sure. Okay, you can sit together and talk if you like. Okay. Okay, now we have 10 people on each side, correct? Okay. So the rest of you, 20 people, you guys are going to play a market game. Okay. And in this market game, I'll describe the market game, give you the rules. As I said, you guys are going to be sellers, you guys are going to be buyers. Okay, and let me describe it. Market will be conducted in several periods. You will trade this good among yourselves. The trade will be according to the rules I give you in just a moment. And the only objective you have here is try to earn as many points as you can. Okay? And Okay, buyers. Who are the buyers? These guys are buyers. Okay, so read these instructions. Each buyer is given a sheet of paper with your value on top of your sheet. This value is private and it should not be shared with anybody. You will also get an ID number, by the way. You may buy 1 unit in each period, as I said earlier. If you buy at a price below your value, then the difference is your profit. That's the value minus price. So, how do you make money? How do you make profit? Is you buy at a price below your value. Okay? And if you pay a price above your value, what happens? Loss. Okay? So this is the buyer sheet will look something like this. You have an ID number, you have a number given your value. I'll ask you to write down your name on it. After you have transacted with one of these guys, you write down the price paid, calculate your profit. That's your sheet. And then I'll ask you to bring it to us. Any questions, buyers? Okay? Clear? Okay, instructions for sellers. You guys on the right hand side. Okay. Digvijay, do you have any questions?
Not till now.
Okay, so guys, why don't you go out there? Okay. You can come back if you have any questions. Go out, take 30 minutes, and come back with a solution. Okay. So each seller is given a sheet of paper, similar sheet of paper. I'll show you. Each of you can will have a cost written on your sheet. You may sell 1 unit each period. Your profit, what's your profit? The price you get by selling thing minus the cost. That's your profit. How do you incur a loss? If you sell, your price is below cost, you have a loss. Okay, so this is what your sheet will look like. Seller card will have an ID. Your cost will be written there. In the purple box, you will write down the price you receive by selling minus the cost will be your profit. And I'll also ask you to write down who you sold it to. Similarly, you guys will write down who you bought it from. The number, ID number, not the name. Okay, each buyer can buy 1 unit, each seller can sell 1 unit each period. You don't have to have a transaction. If you can't make profit, don't transact. Calculate your profit, write down on your profit sheet, I'll give it to you, and then go back to your seat. We'll conduct an open outcry auction, so when the time starts, I'll ask you to come in this area, walk up there and find people to trade with by talking to each other. You are free to speak to any seller and buyers to negotiate a price at which both sides are willing to transact. Okay, don't beat up anybody, don't twist any arms, okay, don't give any threats, no side payments or anything like that. Okay, you are free to speak and bargain with any number of people you like. Once you agree on a transaction, write down the transaction price, name and number of the counterparty on your sheet, calculate your profit, hand the sheet to me up here on the desk, and write down the information on your profit sheet. This is what you're going to keep with you, and so you can keep track of your profits. Okay, you don't do a double auction, so that's all right. Please remember, what's the secret of success in trading? Buy above value, you get a loss. Sell below cost, you have a loss. Keep information on your sheet to yourself. Negotiate to the best of your ability. And we'll allow 5 minutes. Maybe after a while, we'll probably do it 3 minutes. You don't have to trade if you can't make profit. And after completing one trade, go back to your seat. Any questions? Okay, so with this, if you are ready, let's. Why don't you guys come up with you? No, you guys stay here. I just need Poonam and Preeti to help me. Okay, we have only 18 of these profit sheets to take the last week. In fact, I have there. Give it to them one. Yeah. Okay. Okay, these are the buyer slips. Oh, they must give it to more too much. These are buyer slips. Give it to them face down. These are buyer slips. These are buyer. Okay, here just randomize them a little bit, shuffle them, and then give it to them face down. Oh, these. Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I told you you'll earn points, but I think Digvijay told us the other day that you can't have economic experiments without money, right? Do you have to have money? All right, we'll give you money for the first time, okay? All right, let's see. They'll distribute to you depending on how much money you make, okay? At the end of this session. Are you ready? Does everybody have a...
What is the objective?
Okay.
Different buyer sheet for every transaction.
Pardon me?
Will get different buyer sheet for every transaction, or is it the same?
There's only one transaction each period.
So for each period, will get
Yes.
different buyer sheet or the same buyer sheet?
That depends. I'll decide on that.
So,
Okay. Yes.
are we all selling the same thing or?
It's one goods, same units. You imagine you are selling potatoes. 1 kilo bags of potatoes is what is being traded. Okay, and they are all identical. There is no
All are
difference.
selling. That we all are selling potatoes.
Yeah, they are all identical. There's no differentiation in the goods. It's just that different farmers have different cost of production, and different buyers care more or less for that potato. The willingness to pay for it is different, and your cost of production is different. That's all. Any other questions? Okay? Yeah, no conversation, please. All communication will be either within the rules of the game, but no other communication, please. You have a question? Ask me. Go ahead. Oh, you're just explaining to her. A comment. Make it to us. Let them know your wonderful thoughts.
Just realize that this is an example of that hype situation that the information is dispersed in the system.
Ah, okay. So if you're ready, we'll start the game. Ready? Okay, and the moment you finish the transaction, write down everything on the page and come up in the front and give me your slip of paper. I'll be waiting for you there near the table. Okay, and Preeti and Poonam will be entering the data into the computer. Okay, any questions? Okay, market is open for 5 minutes. Come up here and trade. Zero. Can you register this? Remove this. Well, you can start entering. Yes. No. The transaction, completed transaction price is what you are entering. Your value or cost is given on a slip of paper. Your value or cost is given. Yes. Not offered. Completed transaction. When you complete a transaction, write it down and bring me your slip.
What is this?
So you understand the
Like, I think they're like really poor or something.
that thing, and with that thing, it is very important to know that how much effect इतना ज़्यादा हो रहा है. You should understand इतना मेरा production cost नहीं हो रहा है. So you should give me something. I can give it to you in more than 200. That's the point. Now you just understand you are leaving Poland.
So,
So you need to give me something. Listen, if we win, I will share the
Anyone willing to send it to
No, I learned it from there, but it's okay, yeah.
Just anybody? No, I have to go. I have to go to 80. No, I didn't come down. How about 290? Every time. No one is buying, no one is selling. Something is wrong.
Okay, you have a transaction. Give me a slip.
My budget is around 2.
Write down.
I think when you don't continue, you will die.
That would be a loss for me. So you're not
You are the buyer.
Keep this.
20 rupees more.
Now your
I mean,
price.
that is my maximum budget.
You are not putting the price. And profit.
Yeah, you should have it. But understand, it's less than 3 You are a seller.
Is it price or profit?
Okay, one last.
We can't sell it on it's below.
Both sides have to give me the slip of paper.
Gold 260 is fine. Yeah, 260 can you do that for me? Okay.
Oh, and the counterparty. First,
Okay, so the value cost is
number 5.
60. I can give
Is
you.
your
Can I do
counterparty?
a counter ID?
Buyer.
Oh, I need to find more profit. Value cost is right here.
Just next to the price.
Can I get your ID?
Right column.
Mine is no ID. Mine.
You saw it?
Buyer.
So I write it, right?
Okay. Is this a buyer? Counterparty here? This is buyer. Counterparty. What's the counterparty? Right now.
Price
Is a buyer?
counter ID 104.
This is buyer. Who's the counterparty? Okay, here's the counterparty.
D.
Okay, there's 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go.
Should I write it?
Mine is 108.
Yeah, everything has to be written down. They're all, no, they are settled. Don't write it. Okay. Okay. Market is over. Please go back to your seat. Turn in all your slips of paper if you haven't already. You have to fill in the price. If you complete a transaction, you have to fill in the price. You have to fill in the profit in this sheet over the game, during the game. Okay. Make sure you write down the number of your counterparty. Okay. Right. So price, profit, and counterparty. 3 numbers have to be written here. Similarly, the complete information has to be contributed here. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Now, to answer your question, you asked me earlier, I don't remember your name, is that we'll just distribute them randomly each period. Okay. Let me. Pardon me? Okay. Who's ID number 1? Who's your counter ID?
108.
Is it written here? It's not written here. 108. Okay. Okay. So okay. This is sellers. Shuffle them and distribute them. This is buyers. Shuffle them and distribute them. Please. Okay.
If we didn't have a transaction last period, do we have 2 of the same item?
Pardon me?
If we did not have transactions last period, do we have 2 of the same item?
No, you can only conduct 1 transaction.
Do you have 2 units to
No, only 1 unit per period. Okay. That period is over. It's sunk cost. It's gone. Okay. All right. Everybody got the piece of paper?
Is it the same good or different?
Pardon me? It's the same good. Yes. Pardon me?
Same 1 kilo kg of food.
Yes. Now we are just playing the game again. That's all. Okay. Now you are a different farmer. You are a different buyer. Okay. But it's the same market. All right. Everybody is ready? Okay. Market is open. Go ahead.
Production cost is even more than the previous time. I'm getting 300. No, the production cost itself is 400. So I can go for a loss.
Let's make it 250. I don't want to sit here for others. One will
Bye. Are you selling? What price?
Give me how much? Give me more.
Yours at 250.
Give me the exact money you have to make the balance of money after my cost. You give me. That's the point. Give me at least 50. I can take a 10 rupee loss.
2 by 110.
Make 280. I'm taking a 20 rupee loss this time.
I'm still not making.
Corruption. Okay, so my production cost is 73. How much can you do? What is your last amount?
210.
Why is everyone with 200? Why okay. Are all the buyers are you a buyer? Yeah. How much can you spend?
Not about 230.
Okay, my production cost itself is 300. Now tell me, should I go and suicide and buy? No, you don't want to. You want to help me, right?
I cannot anyway give or above 231.
No, just
235.
Yeah.
you got a counter ID?
How much? What's the last one? Make it 250. I take a 50 rupee loss.
Okay, 6. Yeah.
What's the last one?
I gave it 230.
What was your last one?
235.
Okay, these are the last buyers. 235 yours was?
Okay, 1 minute to
I'll
go.
go with you. Sorry, your counter ID?
Counter ID?
101. And you gave me a 250. You gave me a 250, man. Come on, let's see. Okay, fine, 240.
It's on the right margin. No. Okay, market is closed. Okay, who's 101? Okay, there are 2 buyers who bought it from you. Okay. Okay, these are transactions. And okay, I will just shuffle them there. This shuffle them, please. The buyer, shuffle them before you distribute them. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. We'll talk about it later. So you definitions, the same definition then, but that's fine. Okay, just watch and enjoy yourself, and we'll talk about it. Start. From your chair. Move right down there. Okay, move up there, please.
How much you selling?
Wait. One order. How much can you spend?
Tell me your Not offer. Something. Sorry.
How much for it?
Come on. I think 290 you're saying 250. Not not a bad option. Not happening.
Make it easy.
Production cost 275. My production cost.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Can you
Excuse me.
240?
Also counterpart.
It has to be 269.
30.
I can't be
240.
I can't touch the doggy with थोड़ा break even कर लिया है।
break even point was
That is a loss for you.
थोड़ा बहुत 300
कम loss है मतलब।
247.
285 minutes।
You want 280, 225 for sure.
कितने
My idea
250. No?
त्याच्यापेक्षा मला नाहीच विकलं.
235.
Wait, just wait.
So low, I have to cover the loss.
945.
I can't go lower than that.
Final.
I can't go lower than
It is near. 250. No? Some. 250. 255.
खूप मोठा भाग आहे.
Nice.
Counterparty.
Final offer. 250. You just said 255. Is that your final offer?
Okay,
260.
30 seconds to go.
My price is anyway too high. I mean, I started with 310. I've come down to 270.
I started with
Final price 260. Otherwise, we with you? You want to buy?
What's it? No transaction. Okay, market is over.
Arsenic? How much? Very good.
Money? Did you have room? If you don't sell, you don't have money.
I will meet once again. What side? Okay. So what's your final?
250.
Let's negotiate. How much is it?
How much I done? Buyers.
Buyer ID
260. Yeah. No, 260.
Alright.
How much will you do that?
I can't go higher than
Pardon me?
You can't be
Who's buyer number 2? Buyer number 2? Buyer number 2?
huge back. And then come
What's your name? Who's buyer number 2? Buyer number 2? No.
300 बोलूंगी तो नीचे ले आओगे
You sold? How much?
Yeah, I'm not making the profits is okay, but I will still take a loss. Two eighty anyone, 280, 280 anyone.
You and right.
Can we have it? It's not possible. No chance. Thank you.
That's not okay. Yeah, why are you not taking take a loss? We sell it, we sell a lot of loss. Seriously. You are not at all taking a loss. Yeah, that's just what we all had. Na? So you should just go company. So give me whatever you have.
Man, how much profit will we make? Let me at least.
Okay, 1 minute to go.
Can you give me the amount that you have?
249.
1 minute to go.
249. 249 then.
Again, less, but just make it 249.
No.
265.
249. 249. I don't have less for that.
Please, my production cost is more than 260. Still.
Then I should.
Contract, oh, you don't have transaction.
Unless at a loss, 249.
I'm ready to make a loss, na? I'm making a loss for 10 rupees.
249. Come on.
In the middle, 249.
Didn't you give a
249. That is the loss. I am the
Yeah, I did. Okay, 10 seconds. Please wrap up.
270. 270? Okay, make it 265 with me.
Okay.
I didn't get the money.
Okay, you can get it. Thank you. Keep it. Okay. 7. Okay. This is fire. No transaction. All right. And if you didn't transact, you can stay like that. All right. Okay. The buyers had a total profit of 171. Okay. And sellers had a total profit of 79. Okay, how much does that add up to? Pardon me? 250. Okay. Let's see. We could play the game for one more period, but I think I've already kept you for longer. You want to? One more? All right. No, I think some people have to go, so it's okay. Some people have to go. All right. So what we'll do is tomorrow.
So we are already at a loss.
Tomorrow we're going to analyze this, and so think about today's class and tomorrow's class as a combined class where we'll take the discussion of how did. Suppose we look at the market that you participated in today as an artifact. Did you think about this as an artifact, what you're doing here? Okay. And we're going to compare the performance of you guys talking to each other and negotiating with each other with the performance of your 3 very smart colleagues. How did they do compared to what you did? Do you want to know?
There has been a
minor calculation mistake, but still.
That's okay. Okay. No, don't take it personally. It's nothing. It's not. You have to be brave to take on such a task. So thank you. So we'll continue our conversation. Please do take a look at read the readings for today and for tomorrow's class. And then, if you like, I will do other experimental demonstrations to illustrate what's being said in these academic papers. They can be quite dry, but if you actually participate in it and see what was being done in these environments and what they're talking about, it can become quite a bit more meaningful and understandable. So I won't keep you any longer for today, but I appreciate your staying back for this much longer. But let's continue this conversation tomorrow, and please read the readings. I have promised you the project description, but I don't want to keep you any further. I'll either send you an email tomorrow morning or describe it in tomorrow's class. Okay? Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. But bring it tomorrow. Bring it tomorrow. The money. We'll have to give it to them, but I'll keep it for now. But we have to distribute it tomorrow.